In this example, we're going to continue to explore addition, subtraction, and the order of operations. We're going to use the rule that we learned in the last example, Rule 1, that says when we need to add or subtract 2 or more times in one problem, we will perform the operations from left to right. So let's look at the directions. Use a highlighter to highlight the operations in the problem. Determine the number of operations to be performed in the problem, then compute the results by using the convention of performing the operations from left to right. So I want you to use the practice of using a highlighter to highlight the operations. This is going to be really important for you to learn to zoom into what's an operation and what's representing a sign of a number. You also need to know how many operations you need to perform because that's how many steps you're going to have in the problem. So try to make the practice of only doing one operation at a time, even though it's tempting to do more than one. And sometimes you can do more than one and get the correct answer. But let's try not to do that so we won't make any mistakes when that isn't the case. So looking at this problem, we have 12 minus 3 plus 2. So here's subtraction and here's addition. So we have 2 operations to be performed. Okay. Now let's underline, how about in red, each operation we're going to perform in each step. So here I'm going to underline 12 minus 3 because that's what we're going to do first. So you want to write your answers moving down to a new line. 12 minus 3 is 9, and then we bring down the plus 2. Okay. Now we just have one operation left to perform, and we're going to do 9 plus 2. Well, 9 plus 2 is 11, and this is our final result. So why don't we circle our final answer. Let's look at the next one. Let's first start by highlighting. So we have 4 plus 8 minus 3 plus 6. That means we have 3 operations to perform, and we're going to move from left to right. Let's use the red pen, starting with 4 plus 8, that's the first operation on the left. We have 12, and now remember to write down the rest of the problem. Minus 3 plus 6. So one step is done. Next we'll do the subtraction, which is 12 minus 3. So 12 minus 3 is 9. The remainder of the problem is plus 6. And our last step is 9 plus 6, and 9 plus 6 is 15. Now let's circle our final answer. So notice underline, there's 1, 2, 3 steps underline, which was the number of operations we needed to perform. Let's look at some more examples. Now this has a lot of operations. It also has some negative numbers, so we're going to need to be careful that we don't confuse the negative numbers with the operations. So let's highlight the operations. 12 minus, this is a negative 5, so that's not an operation, that's the sign of a number, plus 6 minus 2 plus negative 1, so that's the sign of a number. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to perform, 4 operations. So we're going to move from left to right. So first we have 12 minus negative 5. Well, 12 minus negative 5 means to take away a negative 5 from 12, and we saw that this is equivalent to adding 5 to 12, so this is 17. Now let's copy the rest of the problem. Plus negative 1. So we completed the first operation. Our next operation will be this addition between these two numbers. So 17 plus 6 is 23. And we'll copy the remaining part of the problem. Our next operation is 23 minus 2, which is 21. And we have 21 plus negative 1. And our last operation, 21 plus negative 1 is the same as 21 minus 1, which is 20. Let's circle our final answer. So just checking, we did 1, 2, 3, 4 operations to get our final result, and we performed the operations from left to right. We have one last problem. So 10 plus negative 8 minus 2 minus 1 plus 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 operations in this problem as well. Working from left to right, 10 plus negative 8 is the same as 10 minus 8, which is 2. Copy the rest of the problem. So we need minus 2 minus 1 plus 6. Okay. Don't be tempted to start adding these together. You need to work from left to right. 2 minus 2, that's our next operation. Well, 2 minus 2 is 0. Minus 1 plus 6. Okay. We can actually drop the 0 and think of this just as a negative 1, but let's follow our steps. 0 minus 1 is negative 1 plus 6. And our last step, negative 1 plus 6 is positive 5. Circle our result. So just checking, we did 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and our final simplified result is 5.